Hey guys,
We're on. Sorry.
we are live
Hey guys.
on YouTube and Facebook.
Hey guys.
We're
Good evening.
on for our Motivational Monday, and we have a very good topic tonight. We are talking about mental health, and there's really not a certain amount of times that you can get over this topic, because this topic is always going to be relevant. You know, it's so many people who suffer and deal with mental health on a everyday basis.
Every day.
So-
Silently. Or some people that don't mind telling people that they have issues. And I commend those individuals 100%. The people that can come out and say, you know what, I need some help. And talk to somebody about it, because it's very important. And as African Americans, we don't do that often. When we come out, we always try to play this facade that we tough and, oh man, I don't need no help and I'm gonna get through how I've been getting through. You know what I'm saying? So it's very important that we take a time out for ourselves to discuss mental health and how it breaks down in the community and as individuals, because as we all know, we deal with stuff on a day-to-day basis all the time, either at work or just being home. I can speak for myself, so I'm going to do that. I do smoke cigarettes, and I've been asked on numerous occasions to stop, please, and it's been a struggle, to say the least. It's been a super struggle. I'm sorry, I'm trying to look up here at YouTube and then come back here. I'm trying to multitask, so bear with me. I digress. Mental health, as far as with myself, since I smoke cigarettes, has been a thing that will determine if my day goes smooth or if I can get through a day. Sometimes I might smoke a cigarette or two. I'm trying to slow down, I'm not going to lie, and it's something that is definitely a struggle, 100%, 150%. It's a struggle with the cigarettes. People say stuff like, oh man, it's all mental. All you gotta do is just stop. You know, it's mental, you know? If that was the case, people would stop smoking cigarettes as soon as possible. I think realistically it comes down to what you want to do, because me, I might say, you know what, I want to stop smoking cigarettes. And then I'll go get a pack. I say, you know what, I don't want to stop. So I think it comes down to the individual on what you want to do and how you want to go about it.
And like, you know, everybody has their vices, and when you're struggling with certain things, you know, life in itself is so hard, it's so difficult, and so we all find ways to deal with this world. And like for him, when he's going through and, you know, the world is on his shoulders and he's struggling, that cigarette for that moment is what calms him. Now, I don't smoke, I don't drink, you know, for me, I kind of use like my music, that relaxes me, my writing, that relaxes me. I actually suffer from anxiety, so it depends. Like sometimes certain things that are going on will trigger my anxiety, but then at times, you know, which is the worst to me, it could be absolutely nothing going on and I can just feel anxious. And I feel like that, you know, that is one of the ones that I hate the most, because then you have to figure out, where is it coming from? Is it something that, you know, I'm thinking about without even realizing that I'm thinking about subconsciously, you know, like what's going on, you know? And everyone has their ways that they deal with being anxious. You know, for me, I try to take breaths, you know, I try to calm myself, relax myself, you know, I'll pray if it's like really, really bad, you know, you figure out what works for you. And it's even worse when you have like an anxiety attack in public. It's very difficult, you know, for the people who have struggled with anxiety, you know, like in the public, if you're not able to control it like spot on, just not wanting to be embarrassed, you know, because you don't know if you're gonna start shaking, you don't know like if you're gonna, you know, whatever the case is. Everyone has it in different ways, you know, so you just have to figure out, you know, they have certain things, you know, like they have pills. I'm kind of anti-medicine. Like me, I really only take medicine when I absolutely have to, like it's necessary. Like, so because of that, I haven't gotten the relief of going to pills, you know, medicine or whatever. So like I said, I have to just deal with it kind of naturally.
I'm sure it can be a little difficult for you at times, right? I'm sure.
Of course, just trying to figure out the root of where it even came from, because I didn't have it all my life, and I feel like I got it worse in my adult life. What's up, Jack Hart? How you feeling tonight? And so, you know, just trying to figure out the coping mechanisms, you know, to take, and connecting with other people who have the same issue, and, you know, bouncing off each other and figuring out, well, what do you do? And this and that third. But like I said, this is something that a lot of people don't like to talk about. They don't like to talk about if they're dealing with anxiety. They don't like to talk about if they're dealing with depression. Right. They don't like to talk about when there are certain mental health issues that are affecting their daily life. So you have to be the one to kind of have that strength to break the silence, you know, because I guarantee you, there's no reason to be embarrassed. There's no reason to feel, you know, like something's wrong with you. There's probably more people than less in the room with you who suffer with something, you know. So if one person is brave enough to spark the conversation, it's going to be like that. What's it called when you go to like a baseball game and they're waiting to start the wave? Or the clap or something. Right. It's like one of those things. You're just waiting. Oh, from Brazil. That's what's up, Jack. We're here in Philly. So, you know, so like just trying to, like I said, muster up that seed to deal with your issues head on and not feel discouraged, not feel like weird, feel like, you know, you're different or alienate yourself. Especially if you're someone who's going through depression. Depression hits, I mean, first of all, look at the world that we live in, guys. I mean, it's very easy to become depressed with your circumstances, with, you know, just life. And life is so difficult, but at the same time, you don't have to stay in that mindset. Like, you don't have to stay there. So many people have pulled themselves out, and if they're able to do it, we all can do it. It's just about, like I said, figuring out what exactly is going on, because some of us hasn't even identified exactly what it is. Some of us just know that we don't feel right or that something's off, but you haven't really identified it just yet, like what exactly it is. Again, going to the fact that because a lot of us don't go to the doctors to find out these type of things. Medical health kind of gets put on the side burner. It's like a stigma. You know, a lot of people don't like to talk about it, and it's kind of out of sight, out of mind. It's not like if I break my arm, like, you know, I can't hide it, the pain, you know, this and the third, like you're bleeding, you're gonna go to the doctors. But when it comes to, what's up, Ola? But when it comes to, you know, your mental health, you're able to put a band-aid on it. You're able to mask it. And if you're really, really good at masking it, people won't even know. They won't know, because it's like those pictures that we see with the two masks, and one is smiling and one is frowning, and when you leave out, you grab the smile face, you put it on, and then when you come back home, you throw it off and reveal the real face under, you know. So it's just, it's one of those just circumstances that you just really, you know, really have to get a control under before it becomes too late. Because, you know, people do commit suicide. That is a real life topic. And, you know, some people aren't sensitive to the topic of suicide. Thank you, Jack. Some people are not sensitive to the topic of suicide. A lot of people down talk suicide so quickly. and they're like, oh, that's so stupid, you know, I don't care, like no one should ever take their life, like you want to be stupid to do that, oh well, like, and they'll go straight left and go straight into the negative. But do you understand the type of mental capacity somebody has to be at to tell themselves, I'm going to jump in front of a train today? I mean, just think about it. You gotta really be in a really, like, a space that we can't even fathom. Because number one, some of us tonight have thought about suicide. But the difference between us and the other people, they actually went through, okay? So if they went through and they actually did it, I mean, like, something is going on to make you want to do that. And then, like, to me, I was telling Babe, I said, you know, the different types of ways people kill themselves, to me, I feel like tells you a little more deeper about the person. Now, he feel like I might have been being extreme and just coming up and putting my own flavor on things, but I am a person who think very much outside of the box. I laugh at my mom about it all the time. I'm like, you know, I can have friends that are in the box thinkers, but you will never really connect on a level with me if you cannot think outside of the box, because I'm definitely an outside of the box thinker more than an inside of the box person. And so when I'm thinking about, like, all these different people and how they commit suicide, it's like, okay, you have the people who will take pills, but then you'll have the person who will jump in front of a train. That's two totally different extremes, you know. And I feel like someone who's going to take pills, to me, it's like, okay, you don't want to be here, but you also are looking for comfort, you know what I mean? Like, you not trying to be extra, or like, you don't want the pain with the death, you just want to go. And somebody who's like jumping in front of a train, or jumping off a high-story building, and, you know, all these like physical crazy things, or blowing their head off, to me, I just think, like, because that's so, like, you already know that this is going to be something that's going to be like painful. So, and I could be wrong, but maybe these type of people, something happened where, like, you know, they feel like they hurt someone, or, you know, like they want to I guess suffer or so, like, with their death. But it's just like, you know, you got something you want to say, baby, before I just like keep going?
No, you're doing your thing. You know how it is. Listen, you going
look, I get in the mode and I just go, you know, so I had to like be like, you know what, I'm kind of boop 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 boop
do it all the
boop boop.
time. Ain't nothing new. There's nothing new.
Jack Hart said, you know, I didn't let him get a word in.
Never.
I know, Jack. I know.
That's the relationship.
But that's because I was
That's
on
the
it.
relationship. It's not no big deal. You know.
She shot herself.
I ain't sweating it. It's your world. I'm just
wow,
living
Ola, I'm so sorry to hear that.
You know what I'm saying? Ain't no big deal.
I am so sorry. And you know, and that has to be like, I think that has to be something totally different too, Ola, because it's one thing to hear about it. It's something totally different to actually walk in and witness something like that. Like, I can't even imagine your mind space, like walking in and seeing your girl like that. Like, I can't. I would imagine something like that is going to haunt you forever. You know what I mean? Like, that's going to always be something in your thoughts, you know? And so we just have to always really, really just don't be so quick to be dismissive to our friends and our family who we know have not, you know, been themselves lately. And like I said, sometimes you don't even know because of the mask that people wear. Like, we just have to be very aware.
I agree. Hey.
So, you know, I was just seeing if you had something to say.
I always have something to say.
Okay, go ahead.
Am I going to actually say it, though, is the question. We're going to get it together. It's not a big deal. It's something that's it's a process, like anything else. So I'm glad that's funny. That's super funny. But this is not a laughing matter in regards to you know, mental health and things like that. Again, there are many extremes that we can assume I would say the first thing, realistically, is to get some help, reach out to somebody. And so, because the worst thing to do in that scenario would be a self-diagnosis. To do a self-diagnosis and say, all right, I got this, or I got that. I mean, unfortunately, the internet has made everybody doctors and has made everybody lawyers. And we know so much because of the internet. We go on the internet, and so we know so much. You know, it's ridiculous. But you know, that's the time that we live in, where we go on the internet for everything, and you get a certain ailment, and you go look it up, and you be like, oh man, well this is what I got. Well, I'm reading it right here on the internet that this is what's going on. So you self-diagnose yourself, which is very, very difficult, and it's very dangerous. Very dangerous. Because you know, if these individuals who go to school for years, and psychiatrists and doctors, wow, 2-3 days on the internet, now I got the same qualifications as them. Yeah, right. That you really need to really come back down to earth and think about the realistic scenario of what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Yo, take care, man. Hope to subscribe if you get a chance. We'll definitely be back on. We appreciate you stopping in tonight.
Hola, I wanted to tell you, no, you can't put that on you about you leaving your gun around, because if somebody take their life, that means you having your gun there or not having your gun there, she was going to do that. You have people, what's up Tyreek, how you doing? You have people who they play Bijak, they play what's it called, like
what?
Like, not really like The Boy Who Cried Wolf, but like they'll say it but then not really mean it or not really do it, and then you know, like after a while you don't really take it seriously because yeah, like because maybe that's how I feel, but at the same time I don't really have the heart to do it, or I really don't want to do it, you know. But somebody who actually goes through with it and do it, that means that they wanted to do it, you know. That means that they were going to do it regardless. You may have made it easier as far as the gun being there, but it definitely was not your fault, because she would have got a knife, she would have got pills, she would have did it some way somehow. If she did it, that means that's what she wanted to do. You know, no one's going to, right now, if you leave a gun around anybody who know they don't want to take their life, it's not going to happen just because the gun is laying around. If she did that, you know, regardless if it was your gun or not, that's what she wanted to do. And you know, so you shouldn't carry that on you and feel like that is your fault because your gun was the gun that she used. You know what I mean?
Absolutely not at all. You definitely shouldn't feel that way. God doesn't make mistakes. You know, you gotta really think about, there's a higher power that we can't, even if we don't acknowledge, it's there. I don't care if you don't acknowledge the Creator, it's there. It's making sure we're okay, He's taking care of us, we're not giving any, you know, remnants to Him, and, you know, that's to our own, you know, that's problematic to us. But, you know, the Lord, He don't make mistakes. So you really can't take, you know, don't take it too hard, try not to anyway, in that situation. Again, my condolences, and I'm sorry to hear that. Definitely try not to beat yourself up too much about it.
And you know, the topic...
And pray on it. Pray on it. Very important.
The topic is about mental health, but you know what? We have to do better too, women. Women, we have to do better with allowing our men to feel comfortable with expressing their emotions. You should never ever, whether it's a grown man, to a teenager, to a kid, because I've even seen where like little toddlers will fall on the ground, 2, 3, 4 years old, and if it's a little boy, if it's a little girl, you'll get the, oh, you okay, come here baby, this and that third. But then when it's a boy, it's get up, man up, you're a boy, you know, brush that off. You can't do that. You know what I mean? Like, you're already teaching them at 2 and 3 years old, planting that seed that I'm not allowed to cry. I'm not allowed to show emotions because I'm a man. I'm a boy. first of all, what do you think is going to happen when someone from the age of 3 is being told that they're not allowed to cry? That this makes you weak, this makes you a punk, you know? You're going to carry that in to adulthood. And where are these emotions going to go? That's why the sensitivity turns into anger. And then you wonder why, when a man gets angry, he resorts to punching walls and doing this and doing that, because he don't realize that he has the option to get in tech and get in tune with his emotional side. You know, it's not just anger is not the only option if you're a man. You know, you have to, you know, because that's going to create a whole nother mental issue, you know, with you guys feeling that way. And I don't even know like how that whole stereotype started, but we have to collectively work together to put that at rest.
I know where it came from, but we're not. That's another subject, and you can tune in, and I'll speak more on that if you want to jump on that. But yeah, as far as what you were saying, your girlfriend talking to you.
Okay.
What's up, guys?
I just got.
How's it going? How you doing this evening?
I just got my mind right, because she took part of me with her. Never tell your left hand your right hand. You can say that broke her family blamed me for her not being here. She been raped from her father and brother. That's why she did that. It's really fucked me up.
Dang.
It's a lot, Ola. It really is. And the fact that they're blaming you is going to be a heavy load for you to carry, and it's going to be a lot for you to, you know, to take in. And you got to realize that when people are hurting, they're always looking for someone to point the finger
absolutely.
at. We need somebody to point the finger at.
Right.
Think about it.
Right.
Even when somebody goes to court and you know, somebody got murdered or raped, some people don't even care if it's the right person. I just need a body in the jail so that I can feel redeemed, like I can feel like I can heal now.
Right.
That's better for me than knowing that no one's been placed in jail and my rapist, my murder got away. But it's an oxymoron, because even if the wrong guy is put in, your rapist or murderer still got away. But it's just the comfort of knowing for me that, well, somebody's paying for it. I don't care if it's the right guy or not, but it better be somebody in there getting that sentence, getting that time. And that's kind of what's happening in your case. It's not the right person who's falling for it, but somebody got to sit in and do the time. And unfortunately, you've been the person chosen. So you have to be able to differentiate that being in jail for something you actually did, being in jail because they needed a space to fill.
That's deep. That's a deep scenario.
Right.
Wow.
And it's, you know, unfortunate because the jail we're talking about for you is not even a physical jail, it's a mental jail, going back to that mental health. But it's even worse because there's so many people in the physical real jail with the same exact scenario that's been placed there because they needed a body. You know what I mean? But, you know,
That's scary. That's a scary situation.
It really is.
Man.
And like, you know, I go down my timeline, I go down my newsfeed. There's so many people who I have not connected with. There's so many people who I have not had conversations with. And I try not to be on here that often. You know, when I come on, I'm usually coming on to post something or check something. But when I do get the time to scroll down my newsfeed, when I see that someone is struggling with depression, even if we haven't spoken once, I usually always say something, whether it's in Messenger or on the timeline, or, you know, under the comment. And and I would say it's 50-50 because there have been people who have not even responded back, you know, because they are just really that far gone that they don't want, you know, they just want to vent, but they're not looking for any recourse. They don't want to have a conversation because what they feel like is, yeah, that's cute. That little conversation you said, yeah, that was cute or whatever. Now what? I still feel the way how I feel. I still want to take my life. I'm still drowning in these bills. I'm still, you know, whatever. So a lot of times they're not looking for that conversation because they don't feel like that conversation is going to do anything for them.
So
they're not getting.
So what do you think? What do you think they need? If that's not going to assist them, and see, sometimes people just need things to get by. Help to just get through the day. You know what I'm saying? So if that's not needed, and what you've been doing, which I think is great, that you reach out and you try to speak with them and say, hey guys, you know, it's gonna be okay and all that. If not that, what do they need? What do you have to assume? What do you think they need?
Well, you know, every person, and you know, everyone's not going to agree with this because everyone is not a religious person. But because you don't agree, you know, doesn't make it not true. But every person, if you don't connect on some type of level with your creator, there will always be a void there that will not be filled.
Absolutely.
I don't care how much money you have. Absolutely. I don't care how much cars you have. I don't care what your circumstances are. But if you have not filled that void, even if it's not like to the extent where, you know, you connect it all the time, all day, every day, but you still have to have some type, even if it's the littlest spark, just to have something there. You know, there's always going to be like, you know, people always trying to figure out what is it. Okay, I needed this, I got it, but I still feel empty when I got this. I still feel empty. And then the people who will argue and say, oh, that ain't what it is. So then did you do all the checkoff list? Did you look elsewhere?
I'm sure they did.
Okay, and you still feel that way?
Still feel that way.
Okay, so then there you go.
There you go, yeah. Did you get your tree? Did you get your drink?
Hey Dark Bane, how are you?
You know.
What's going on, Savage?
People will prefer to run to things that will just be
temporary,
fix, that will get their mind off the situation for a little bit, and then you come back to reality. And then sometimes people just keep and stay in a cycle. And they do that. They get high, they get drunk, or you know, and they keep doing it over and over and over again, and then wonder why am I back in this state where I feel this way? That's because you haven't reached out to your creator. You haven't talked and made any type of, or not saying that this is the situation, just saying, if I had to assume, reach out to your Lord. It's important. It's, first of all,
it plays a big part. You can't just rely on the medication.
First of all, right, you can't do that. You can't do it. People always want to concentrate on the physical. People concentrate on the physical, what we can touch, what we can see. Sometimes you gotta concentrate on what you can't see. Very important. Very important.
Let me ask you this, and this will answer where your mindset is. Do you think that you are a body with a spirit, or do you think that you're a spirit with a body?
Right.
Because a lot of times people say, oh, we have a spirit within us. But when you say, I have a spirit within me, then you put in the spirit as the second person.
Right.
And basically saying, I'm flesh
first. Right.
And I have a spirit within me. When really you have to reverse it. You're not flesh.
You're not flesh.
You are a spirit with the body.
Absolutely.
But,
absolutely.
You know, like, you guys, we just have to really, really use your resources. Use your resources out there. You know, so many different things available. Because sometimes, let's be honest, a stranger's ear is a lot more comforting. Because when you can't always talk to people that you know. The people that you know can be the most judgmental people. You know,
biased.
Yeah, very biased. You know, they want to, you know, not even see where you're at presently. they're still looking at the person that you were 10 years ago. Still talking to you as the person that you were 10 years ago. Still trying to continuously treat you as the person that you were 10 years ago. When I'm not that person no more, I'm in a whole new space.
Right.
And if you still trying to talk to that person, then we don't even have nothing to talk about, because we don't, you know, it's so crazy because you can bump into somebody from high school, right? And y'all graduated 15 years ago. And you'll know when that person say, wow, you changed so much since high school. Duh, isn't that the plan? Isn't that the goal? Like, I'm supposed to still be the same way since we was 17, like we're 30 now. Of course, I would hope that I changed.
Right.
I'd hope you changed.
You're supposed to change.
You know, by the time we bump into each other, we both supposed to be butterflies now. We ain't supposed to still be wiggling around being caterpillars.
Right.
Like, so people sometimes still address you as that caterpillar, and they want to keep you in that space because they feel more comfortable, you know, especially if you've evolved and they haven't.
Right.
So sometimes they want to bring you back down because they don't know how to elevate to your level. So because they can't elevate to your level, they got to bring you back down to caterpillar space.
Right.
You know, so I don't want to talk about, you know, that business you got going on. I don't want to talk about this and that. I want to talk about, remember when Jake beat you up in the classroom and put that pie in your face? They want to say stuff to embarrass you. They want to bring you down.
Dark Bane, subscribe, baby. Appreciate you stopping in.
They want to put you back in that space when you felt little. They like, no. They feeling themselves too much. Let me remind you who you were. Let me remind you where you came from. Remember when the bull took your shoes and it's like,
right. What are you talking
really?
about
That's the conversation you want to bring up right now? That was
right.
Like how many decades ago?
Right.
So that will show you right there. They want to keep you in that space. They want to keep you there. So thank you, Dark Bane. So, you know, when you dealing with people like that want to keep you caterpillar, see, because if they have already gotten their wings and they already butterfly, they would have had that type of conversation with you.
Right.
They would be like, we want to talk about, you got your butterfly, yo, let me see your butterfly wings, them joints nice, let me see your pattern, yo, look at my pattern, them joints dope, right? Let me tell you all the places I flew around and seen. I've been flying in Brazil, for real, I was just there. The conversation gonna be different. We're gonna be exchanging butterfly stories. But because you don't have butterfly stories, I'm not saying that, oh, I can't deal with you because I elevated and you didn't. What I'm saying is, if I've elevated, and see, this is the thing, people, if you see somebody is doing good, and you see that they're doing things that could even help you out, why wouldn't you want to say, you know what, yo, that's dope. I need to be seeing what's going on with them. Like, I need to be in their space. Like, I need to find out, what are you doing that I'm not doing? Put me on. Like, let me learn something. Mentor me.
Help me out.
Right. They got the wrong mindset.
Right.
Why are you looking and hating instead of trying to be, you know, like, get me to take you under my wing?
Yeah, that makes no sense.
You supposed to have the mentality that, oh, you know what? I'm networking with this person. I'm trying to see what's up with this person.
King, appreciate you, bro.
That's what you're supposed to do. Not say, oh, they doing too much. Let me bring them back down to surface.
It's sad. It's a sad circumstance. It's terrible. And it's mostly our own people. We're just going to touch on this for a second. I apologize. It's mostly our own people when it comes to this, because unfortunately a lot of us still got that slave mentality and have not broken away from that. So now, because if you're in a good space and you don't want to bring your people up with you, or you haven't even got out of that space, right? And you're trying to get there, but some people we don't care. You don't care, and they don't want to help out. They see you doing good. Now it's a problem. Now I don't want to help you. Now it's something personal. Oh man, you're making moves.
And
that's terrible.
One would say, well, I don't understand. This same person will go out and support Beyonce, Jay-Z, people they never met, people they don't know anything about, and show them the most love. Let me tell you why. The key thing you just said, they don't know them. So because they don't know them, it's not personal.
It's not personal.
It's
right.
just business.
Right.
But because I know you, it's personal now. Because now I'm looking like, well, damn, we grew up in the same hood. We went to the same school. How the hell did you do all this and not? Like, we had the same opportunities. We from the same, like, this personal now.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? They coming at you from a person, like, it's personal.
Facts. That's
but
facts.
Why are you taking it because some people would say, like, you know, like, even when we doing our thing and, you know, we always say, oh, you know, if you have a chance, share this, you know, take a second, share that, share that. But guess what? Don't get mad. People who want to share, they're going to share. People who don't, they're not. But you'll see those same people, like I said, sharing all kind of stuff from all other people they never met, ain't doing nothing for. But then when it come over your stuff, they skim over it like it's nothing. You can't take that stuff personal, because I'm going to tell you one thing.
It's terrible, though.
The same people that ignored you when you was trying to come up, going to be the same people bragging, telling people, yo, that's my cousin, that's my best friend, that's my this, that's my that. And you're going to be sitting there looking like, really? Interesting. When did this happen? Right. So it's like, don't wait until, you know, like people need to see other people co-signing, and then they'll co-sign. But why do it take for you to see, oh shit, they really doing something, they really got people supporting, like, okay, let's jump on their bandwagon. Like, no. This is why you have to make sure the people around you are really trying to support you. Make sure the people around you are really for you and what you're doing, and then vice versa. You do the same thing for them. It's called, you scratch my back, I scratch yours. You know what I mean? So if you don't have the type of people around you who are going to be going hand in hand, you know, when you let them know you got something going on, they right there for you. When they got something going on, you right there for them. It goes hand in hand. It ain't supposed to be one-sided on either part. You make sure that y'all both are playing your part, that y'all playing your position. You know what I mean?
Definitely. It goes back to helping each other. We have been taught not to help each other, to be selfish. To be selfish and don't help each other. That's how we've been trained, unfortunately. And the training is still going on. That's what it is. Let's be blunt. Let's be straight up. That's what it is, you know? And it shows. It shows in business. It shows in the reason why a lot of people aren't making moves. And it shows why a lot of people are still in the same position as they've been in for the last 5 years or the last 10 years. Mm-hmm. They're not helping each other. They're not networking with people that can help them. And that's the problem. That is 100% the problem. Not helping each other, being selfish, okay? You have learned the wrong way, okay? You're doing exactly what they want you to do. You're not helping each other. You're not combining forces, so to speak, and have one specific goal that we're trying to help and do. So a lot of times, we're doing things as individuals. It's harder to do things as individuals. It's harder to do things as individuals than with a team. It's easier to do things with a team. Period. I don't care who you are. With a team, you can accomplish more. You can make more moves. Everybody has their position that they're supposed to do. Mm-hmm. But when you're doing one person under the assumption that, oh man, I'm going to do this by myself, you're playing yourself.
Right. And what's the saying? 2 minds are always better than one, right? And then let me tell you, you have to find a way to find that balance. Because you have people like me. Now, you know, I always can throw myself under the bus. I am a control freak. I'm going to just put that out right there, okay?
I didn't say it.
I'm a control freak. I've always been. But it's not like I go over the top with it. And usually when I'm being a control freak, it's because, okay, like for instance, when I used to be in school, I was that kid that when we would have a group project, I'd be so irritated. I only wanted to do personal projects, but you know why? It's because I wanted to be in control of my failure. I wanted to be in control of my success. You know why? Because when you're on a team, everyone ain't gonna have the same energy as you. Everyone ain't gonna have the same motivation as you. And if you coming on a number 10, I'm gonna need y'all come on a number 10 too, because I ain't carrying nobody. And if you ain't matching my energy, then you need to go and join another team. So instead of me doing all that, let me just go ahead and just do my own project.
That's one way to look at it.
I'm just saying, so that's why I used to have an issue. But I am now trying to train myself to be more of a team player. But, you know, I do definitely have my moments when I like to take control. But I don't have an issue as long as we're like-minded. You know what I mean? Like, if you're going to have the same drive, the same motivation, you know, kind of like, I think that's why it's very important, going back to being able to start your own business. Because you can handpick your players. You get to handpick, you know, when you get hired on a job, you just kind of got to deal with whoever your coworkers are. Don't we all complain about, oh man, here comes Sheila. You know, you all have that one coworker that you can't stand because either they doing too much sometimes, or they don't do enough, or they, you know, personalities clash, or whatever the case is.
Yeah.
So when you
sometimes, baby. But listen, some people have their strong and weak points. You use somebody, not use, but when somebody is stronger in a certain area, use them for that. You're gonna handle this, okay?
Right.
I'm gonna handle this because I'm stronger in this area. So when you form your team, okay, there's always gonna be weak areas and strong areas. Now, the person who is the leader, or should be the leader of the team, is the person that can point out the weaknesses and the strengths of an individual, then know how to put them in the right position so that they can get used adequately. Right. That's how it is. That's what it comes down to. Now, if your energy is on a 10, and my energy is on a 3, or this person's energy is on a 7, or this person's energy is on a 6, guess what? I'm going to try to figure out, all right, this individual is going to use him this way because he's now on a 10, so I'm not going to put him in the front. Maybe he's useful somewhere else. Maybe I can use him doing something else. Or this person right here, you know what, their energy's on a 6, but they still have energy to use. So I'm going to use them in this way. Now, again, the leader is the person that says, you know what, I'm going to use these people for what they're good for, period. That's it. I mean, that's just me. Again, it's just my opinion on it. And I don't necessarily got to be on a team with people with the same energy level. Me, I don't have to do that. You know what I'm saying? So everybody's different. That's cool. You just got to learn where you fit.
Right, right. So, you know, it's about being able to be a chameleon. Chameleons are, to me, you know, like being able to blend in with your environment. Being able to blend in with your environment, you know. A lot of us have our certain personalities, and guess what? You go to that interview, you turn that switch right on. Everybody don't know how to do that. That's a skill. Everyone don't naturally have the skill to camouflage and blend in with their environment and change. You know, that's at times that could be a life or death skill.
Absolutely.
It could be a life or death skill to know how to blend in with your environment. You know, so it's something that you definitely have to practice. So, you know, yeah, you definitely want to take the time and, you know, strengthen that skill.
I feel good tonight. How you doing, baby? I feel alright, man. I feel good.
You do?
Yeah.
We were kind of sleepy when we first came on.
Very much. Very much so.
Well, I mean, I can still lay down as soon as when we get off.
I'm trying to wake up a little bit. You guys want to talk? We can talk. Chat or play games or I don't know.
Really?
I don't know.
I don't know if I'm up for all that.
I'm off tomorrow. It's whatever.
But you know, we hit a lot of different things. Yeah. I definitely, you know, just
and you're looking good, by the way. I just want to let you know you're looking real tasty.
Thank you.
Yes.
But yeah, you know, guys, so like just keep an eye out, you know, not only for others but even for yourself. Keep an eye out for yourself. If you know that you've been feeling a little blah, I call it blah. You know, to me, blah is just such a great word to sum up when you're just in a disgusting type of mood. Oh, thank you, Savage. I'm so glad. I'm so glad. And so he knows automatically when I'm having one of those days and he'll come to me because, you know, like, I'm not being my cheerful self.
Automatically.
And he'll say, you know, what's going on? And I say, you know what, babe?
I got skills.
Today I'm feeling kind of blah today. You know? Blah, just,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not with it. I'm not with it today. So, and this even goes for, this is not just about me about to be happy and this and the third. It just means, you know, when you have those moments when you, and like, I don't want to use depression lightly because you don't bounce in and out of depression. Some days you just don't feel so good, you know, and then you have people who are like constantly in a depression. Now, I don't have depression, but I definitely have days when I feel like bipolarish. You know, I definitely have those days when I can be like really high and up, and then I can just have those days when I'm like just really blah and have no reason why. And I just like, you know what, today is just one of those days when you come home, it's probably not going to be no dinner made. It's probably going to be a pizza night.
That's cool.
It's probably going to be, you know, not as tidy. You know, I don't feel like it today.
That's cool
today
too.
Is just a blah day. You know, and so you have to give yourself those blah days. When you have the blah days, don't force yourself to do things that you don't want to do. Use that day as a day to charge.
I'm sorry, but go Sixers. Go Sixers. I'm sorry. Go Sixers. Go Sixers. Bro.
Use that time as a time to charge. Whatever your charge looks like. It can look like being on Facebook all day. It can look like Netflixing all day. It can look like getting it in all day. It can look like, you know, just lounging all day. Whatever your blah day looks like, give yourself a blah day. Sometimes you might even need a blah couple of days. You know, it just depends on you and your situation. So don't feel bad. Like, don't feel bad that, you know, it's been a couple days and you haven't been, what's that word, productive. You'll get back to it when you get back to it.
Absolutely.
You know, but when you get back to it, get back to it. So,
I like that.
Right, you know.
I like that.
So, I definitely have, well, I won't say I perfected it. I'm still a work in progress as far as not beating myself up, because we are our worst critics, yo. I can speak for I beat myself up so bad, like, it's ridiculous. I mean, I beat myself up because I'm a perfectionist. It really
grinds her gears.
It grinds me up, guys. I am horrible, and it's an oxymoron, because people think that when you're a perfectionist, that means everything is just perfect, you get everything done perfect. No, it means that you procrastinate a lot because of the fact that nothing is ever good enough.
Right.
You know, so I do a lot of procrastinating because nothing is meeting my satisfaction. You know, I do a lot of beating my own self down as far as this could have been better, I should have did this. You know, it's a very like horrible thing to be a perfectionist, you know, but when you finally get it together and you work out whatever project or thing you're working on, it's gonna be great because you took that time out and did it. But like I said, that process of getting there is very nails to a chalkboard, so to speak. You know, very, very, and we have to stop being so hard on ourselves. Like, we don't give ourselves enough credit. I know I don't give myself enough credit at all. And sometimes I have to really sit back and be like, girl, like, you are doing the absolute most right now. Like, it's not even that serious. You know, I'll beat myself up in all areas. You know, I mean, it can even be basic stuff like, if you told your kids, oh, we're gonna, you know, go out and go to the park later today. And, you know, for some parents, you know, if they don't get to do it, they're just like, hey, you know what, whatever, we'll do it another day. Me, I'll feel bad, and then I'll be like, you know, like, and I'll like really beat myself up over, like, dang, I should have never told them that. And now they're upset.
And on top of beating yourself up, now, unfortunately, some people, when feeling bad, they happen to make extreme decisions. You make extreme decisions because now you feel bad, so now you just want to fill that void to get rid of that bad feeling. That makes sense. You want to get rid of that bad feeling now. So now you're extreme, or you do something that you wouldn't normally do because you feel bad.
Right.
Very, very, very.
Which for me, a lot of times is eating.
Sometimes.
A lot of times. Guys, it's no surprise. I am a thick girl, okay? And food is my drug, so to speak. Like when people are depressed, they run to a cigarette, or they, like, oh, you know what, I'm going to get in a cold one. Well, guess what? If I'm upset having a blah day, babe, I need a milkshake, or whatever. Like, so and then what happens is it turns into a whole cycle, because I'll be on diets, this and the third, and if I'm having a couple days of not feeling it, and I've been going on and eating and this and the third, guess what? When I finally come out of blah mode and reality hits, and I realize that the last 4 days I've been kind of getting it in, now blah is about to come back, because now I'm upset that I even let myself, it was one thing, and then because of this one thing, I did this, but now because I'm not in this blah mode, I'm thinking about what I did. Now so it's like a cycle. So you have to see where you're making that mistake and then try to break it. You know what I mean?
Very important. Very, very important. Definitely. We've been here for a while now this evening. It's a pretty good time. What do you think? Been pretty good? Yeah, that's pretty good on Funny Stats.
We made our quota.
Yeah. Fine. For sure.
So,
anything you want to leave them with?
I was about to ask you the same thing. That's so funny.
Again, this is Motivational Monday, so we try to keep things and end things on a positive note. Positivity is very important. You'd be surprised how many people aren't positive, and that's why you see so much unnecessary stuff going on in the world right now, because a lot of people aren't positive, and they're not thinking positive, and they're not going about their life in a positive way.
Right.
They're going about their life, unfortunately, in a destructive way, a way that's very destructive. And when you are a destructive individual, the people around you feel that. It's not just you. It's your loved ones, it's people at work, people at home. They feel that negative energy that you're bringing with you. So you just don't affect yourself, you affect everybody. Everybody that comes into contact with you, you affect. Think about that. Think about that. Please. Very important. You know what? If you're having a bad day, try to deal with it and not hurt somebody else's feelings. Try to deal with it and, keep a smile on your face. It's not the easiest thing, but at the end of the day, you're doing more harm than good. Right. Think about it.
And it's like when you see those commercials where it's like, pay it forward. And paying it forward can be done positively, but it also can be done negatively. What are you paying forward? Because whatever energy you put out is going to get passed. What they say, energy does not die. It's transmitted, it's transferred from person to person, object to object. So this is why if I decide that, hey, you know what, today I'm feeling blah, so I'm going to pay it forward in a blah type of negative way. What does that mean? That means when I wake up, I'm going to be in a crappy mood. When babe come in here, I'm going to be crappy towards him. He's going to have an attitude or whatever. And then he's going to go to work. And he's going to go to work with that negative energy. And so someone's going to say something to him. And he's going to,
go off on him.
Respond to them in a way he probably wouldn't have.
Right.
And so now they're going to be like, what? And now that energy has been passed to them. Right. They're making a sandwich. The sandwich is not going to come out right. They're going to give it to this. Now you eating a blah sandwich. Because, you see what I'm saying? So the energy is just getting passed. The blah energy that I woke up with. Or it could be the difference of me waking up, feeling good, go in the kitchen, have some coffee on before he even get up, and make sure that's in position. Here, babe, I wanted to get you some coffee, and I'll make you lunch, and this, that, and the third, and give you a nice good kiss, and go out and send you positive vibes into it, and then you drive and you're like, Dad, my baby took care of me. And when you get to work, now you're having a nice game about, oh, did y'all see the Sixers game? And then everybody's having a nice conversation, and guess what? The person don't get a block sandwich, they get a good sandwich, So like it's all about how you pay it forward.
Good sandwich.
The energy really gets passed on, and it affects other people.
And sandwiches. It affects sandwiches too.
Yes. So, you know, and not just with people. Energy is transferred into things. You know what I mean? Like, that's why you can be really, really upset and take a piece of paper and you write down and you stand and you writing all hard. I mean, you digging in. You about to make the pen explode, make the paper rip as you writing and everything. And then when you're done writing, you feel so much better. All of that negative energy has been transferred onto the paper. And guess what? The energy don't stay on the paper, because all that negative stuff that I spewed out of me, you know what? I'm so sick of you. You came home and you didn't know that I went through your phone and who was that girl and la da 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 and ba 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 ba, okay? And I just let out all that negative energy. Now, and I feel good, like, let's see when he get home. Let's see how he gonna like this letter. You know, I'm feeling good. I got all these emotions off of me. All that negative energy is not on me anymore. Where is it at? It's on the letter. And it didn't die. You know how it didn't die? Because it got transferred. And when he picks up that letter and he reading it, guess where that energy from the paper go to? On to him. It just got transferred from me to paper to him. You know what I mean? So that energy really bounces around, whether it's object or person.
Food for thought.
So
Food for what? Food for thought.
We have control over our energy, guys. We have control over how we want to use it, how we want to pay it forward. And you know, the main topic of the night was that mental health. Just make sure that you be the person in control of your mental health. Don't allow circumstances around you, people around you who made you feel like crap or like you weren't enough or whatever the case is, or even if you're about to lose your house and you feel like, what am I going to do? There's so many people who started all over at shelters. There's so many people who started all over, you know, and have horror stories. And then when you talk to them, they're like, you know, yeah, this was my circumstances, but fast forward 2 years later, this is where I'm at now. No, it wasn't 2 days later. It wasn't even 2 weeks later. It wasn't even 2 months later. It did take 2 years, but I am alive. I am a success story. I didn't let my circumstances, you know.
And I like to cut her off for sure rant. And very important, I'm going to leave you with this. Reach out to people. They do have helplines, friends or family, or just, again, a stranger. It is important. We don't reach out and speak in reference to our problems more often than we should. But do you know who does? You know who goes and say, you know what, I need to go talk to my psychiatrist. I just spent $150 and sat down and I feel a lot better. We don't do that. Unfortunately, our people, we don't do that. We don't go speak to people. We don't go reach out. We try to handle our problems ourselves. That's the problem. That is one of the number one problems. We don't try to go and look for help. These problems are serious. Sometimes you need assistance. You need somebody to help you because you don't know what to do. Or you can't think properly or think straight because you're just so boggled down with stuff. So please reach out to people. There are helplines to assist in things like that, just to talk to people, you know, and it's very good just sometimes just to get that energy off you. Very important. Get it off you sometimes. The energy that stays, that negative energy, and it manifests itself inside your body. And that's how you get sick. You'd be surprised on the, I don't know what the percentage is and all that, but the people that die from stress or get sick from stress, it's a number of people who get sick from stress. Do you know how it feels? Like, I don't know how many people in here have anxiety, but the first time I ever had an anxiety attack, okay, I didn't know what was going on, but I literally thought I was dying because you know how they say, oh, it feels like an elephant is sitting on your chest, and people think that that's like just a exaggeration. It really feels like that. Like, I mean, I couldn't find any comfort no matter what I did, and I think because I was panicking, I was going under even more. Like the way how if you're in quicksand and then they say like don't panic because if you panic you get sunken down more. I think it was like one of those type things.
because it was like, because I didn't know what was going on, I was like trying to lay flat. I couldn't breathe, and I tried to sit up. I couldn't breathe. I'm like, oh my gosh, what do I do? Like, no matter what I'm doing, I'm not finding comfort, you know. Try to put the window up. I couldn't breathe. I'm like, what the hell is going on? My chest was so tight. You know, my breathing was so fast. I didn't even know it was an anxiety attack. I didn't even really know about anxiety attacks because it wasn't something that I ever had to deal with. And the second time that it happened, I was in public, which was worse, because at least the first time I was in my house, I didn't know what was going on. I was at my daughter's doctor's appointment, and I just felt those same familiar feelings, only for the second time, so it's very fresh. And I'm just like trying to figure out what is going on. And so I think because I was panicking, because I'm in a office, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm literally in the office with my daughter, and people are gonna think I'm crazy or weird or this, that, and the third. So like, I'm panicking, and I think because I started panicking, it just got worse. And by the time we left the office and I got to the bus, I could barely breathe. So I had to get off the bus, and I walked into McDonald's, and I'm literally sitting there with my daughter at McDonald's, and I'm leaned over on the table, and I'm hyperventilating at this point. And I started crying. I just started crying right there at the McDonald's table. And I know I scared my daughter, because she's probably only about 5 or so, and she's looking at me like, what the hell is going on? I can't even comfort you and assure you everything is okay, because I don't even know if everything is okay at this point. I just feel like I'm dying right now, and I'm like, I never had no heart attack, but I'm gonna assume that that's what I'm having right now, just because of how it felt. And some lady who didn't know me, she saw the situation happening, and she came over, and she's like, are you okay? And I'm like, no. And she's like, you know, she like kind of sat with me, and she put her arm on my back, and she's just like, just breathe slowly, take your time, you're hyperventilating, you know. And like, I'm just like really just going through the motions and everything. And it was a really scary experience, because like I said, I didn't know what was going on, and I was in too much discomfort to be worried about other people around me, you know, and to be like socially conscious about who's looking at me or who's watching, because it felt like I was dying, you know. But I went to the hospital. They tried to give me pills, and like I said, I'm not really a pill person, so I didn't find relief, because like I said, I wouldn't take the pills. And I think just doing my own assessment and my own like thing that I can think of, I had just, you know, within a couple weeks before this started, I had my first miscarriage. So I think that was probably what triggered all of that. So, I mean, that's the only thing that I can really come up with, because that was the only like traumatic thing at that very moment that made me like, you know, be in that state or whatever. So ever since then, you know, it's just been a part of me, I guess, you know, because like I've never had anxiety as far as like a full-blown anxiety attack and everything.
Yeah, you probably didn't know. It's probably was just building up the whole time. You know,
Probably.
it's one of those situations that you weren't aware of. Maybe it was occurring your whole life, and you just didn't happen to the strongest point where you actually took over and took advantage of what's going on with you. But again, she is still here, obviously. She's looking good, and that's just not. I'm not just saying that. But that's a process. We're all going through a process. We take everything day by day. I do anyway. I can't speak for everybody, but try to do things day by day, one day at a time. Wish for the best, or hope for the best, and prepare for the worst. They say.
Right.
You know. So I mean, we're gonna shut this thing down, but she will continue to talk. And
Hey Dave, thank you.
Peace, guys. Thanks for stopping in this evening. I really appreciate y'all. If you get a chance to subscribe, that'll
Guys,
be super cool.
we're going to wrap this up.
Super cool.
And
we
next
appreciate
Monday
you guys,
we will
all
be
the
back for
comments.
another Monday
Those are
motivational.
not
I
Christmas
thank you so
decorations.
much for
We don't
staying
celebrate
and
Christmas
listening to the conversation.
whatsoever.
I'm hoping to
So
have a
if you
surprise
guys want
up
to come, I'm
tomorrow.
gonna be playing some video games
Maybe,
shortly.
I'm not really sure,
Maybe
so
some
don't hold me to
2K,
it.
maybe some Mortal
Alright, guys, good
Kombat.
night.
Check me out. I'm on here. I know y'all here for me anyway, realistically.
Why do you always say
Because
that?
well, my baby, she's a talker. And me, like, if I have the platform, I'm going to probably have my own show because baby girl talks so much. How many times have I talked and really interjected since we started?
You talked a nice amount of time.
A nice amount to that's your opinion. But we've been on for an hour and she's probably held down the majority of the conversations. This is how our relationship is. Okay? Our relationship is consistent with her taking control of everything. That's what it is. But as far as this stuff goes, I know y'all want to come and talk to me. I know y'all do. You know what I'm saying? Because I'll give y'all what was going down, like realistically. Y'all don't gotta
Two
go
is
through all
better
this
than
stuff.
one.
I guess.
You know?
I mean, it depends on the content, but I'm not knocking her because she'll just, do her thing and she'll just keep going and going. And I'll be sit here and be like, when can I jump in the rope?
You could jump in at any time. It's like
Not
playing
true.
double dutch.
Not
You
true.
posted like if you don't get in there, you're just gonna be sitting there the whole time
See?
like this,
See?
So if you want to be rocking back and forth because you can't find your way in that rope,
Excuses.
that sounds like a
A personal problem, right? It's supposed to be a team, right?
I know when it came time for me to double dutch. Look, I look. Oh, we in here. Challenge. 1, 2.
Not even. Not even. Not even, though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that's all good, though, man. I mean, people probably still want to talk and stuff and all that. My baby, she'll just keep talking. I'm like, it's okay. We're going to have separate shows soon. That's it. So she's going to have her show, and then we're going to have our show together. And then we're
You
gonna
talk
have...
about me.
Yeah, because I'll talk.
No.
Absolutely. Because
you always talk about,
all of our lives.
me, and then
Only
I'm
because,
saying all this other
hold on,
See?
only because, this is circumstantial now, because the majority of the time that we do these food for thoughts, you control the narrative 95%. I sneak my little 5% in, here and there.
This is behind the scenes footage.
Yeah, you're getting like some blooper stuff right now. So
We already cut Facebook off, so this is behind the scenes
Who want a game? Who want to
footage.
watch me play some games? So who want to jump in? I'm about to play some games, man. I'm off tomorrow, so I'll be up all night playing video games.
But guys, y'all know if you haven't subscribed to the channel, every Monday we are here. I'm gonna we're gonna say 8 o'clock, but if you know us, we ain't really like professional. We say 8, but it'd be like 8-ish. Like tonight, we was like 8:30. So that's what we be trying. We hope for 8, but 8:30. I mean, on bad nights, sometimes 9 o'clock, but we're trying to get better. So 8 o'clock.
Check this out. So you can check this out. Food for thought, guys.
So if you are on my YouTube channel, I'm hoping to have a video up, a new video. So definitely be on the lookout for that. If it's not up tomorrow, then it will definitely be up Wednesday.
Go Sixers.
So,
go Sixers. Seriously. Seriously, go Sixers.
But yes, that's about it. All right, guys. Good evening. Here, you do it because you know how to do
hit the
it.
button. Just
I'm trying to.
You don't hold it down. You tap it. Tap it.
You know, you just like to make things difficult for me because you don't even have to do it. Make things difficult
Just
right now.
tap it.
You just tap it.
You suck.
You just tap it.
Check this out. We out.
We'll see.
The controller's not on. The controller's not on.
Well, see, I knew I wasn't tripping. I knew I was not tripping.
We out. We are out. Thanks for stopping in, guys. We appreciate every one of y'all. Peace, love to all. And to all, a good night.